Hi, Facebook friends. So yesterday was the opening day for the NFL, and today I have a message for both the NFL and for the NFL Players Association. But before I share that message, let me share a little bit about where this message is coming from. So I grew up in western Wisconsin, and like most boys in that area that grew up in the 70s, I was raised a die-hard Green Bay Packer fan. I was a pretty good high school football player, and with big dreams of playing in the NFL one day. That's not unusual, we all did back then. But an accident my senior year cut short my high school football career and sent me on a very different path. Instead of taking a football scholarship to some university, on the advice of some good friends, I enlisted in the Army National Guard to help pay for college. And while I was getting my college degree, I served in the Army part-time. And I played football for the local NAI college. Go Blue Golds! But instead of training for football during the summer, I spent my summers sweating it out in garden spots like Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Fort Huachuca, Arizona. I spent part of my sophomore year in Grafenwehr, Germany. I call that my exchange semester. But through it all, the Army Guard formed me as a man and taught me things like perseverance, courage, and honor. So after 5 years of college, I got my degree and I decided to turn pro. Using my new degree and my Army Guard record, I was drafted by the U.S. Air Force and spent the next 2 years learning how to become an Air Force officer and a pilot. Well, during my very first flight at Air Force pilot training, another jet crashed at our home airfield in Texas. And both the instructor and the student pilot, a young man just like myself, about 26 years of age, was killed instantly. That fireball on the airfield was a grim reminder that even though it was just a practice game, it was a deadly serious business. I carried that lesson with me when I arrived at my duty assignment at Hurlburt Field a few years later. At Hurlburt, I was introduced to a team of quiet professionals. At the 15th Special Operations Squadron, whose mission was to go anywhere, to do anything, at any time. I was a rookie, obviously. But there were veterans around who made it their job to make sure that I knew my role and that I did my job without fail. Because after all, the lives of everybody we carried on those airplanes and the lives of people on the ground depended on it. You might say they mattered. Well, my professional flying career ended up being a little short-lived. It was the late 90s and peace was breaking out all over. 9/11, which it is today, was a long way off, and I had a family to raise. So I played out my 10-year rookie contract, and I decided to call it a career. So looking back now, 20 years later, I'm still immensely proud of my service, and I'll be bonded forever with those quiet professionals that I served with. Some of those professionals are no longer with us. So now what does that have to do with football? Throughout my adult life and my military career, I've been a Packer fan and a football fan. Now, Packer fans are a breed apart. Who else would shell out $250 for a non-voting share of a football team? Well, I did. Here's my share of the pie. And when I look at this share, I'm proud to say that I'm an owner, even though I know it's just a symbol, right? It's symbolic. It has no voting power. This share is a symbol of me being a very small part of something that's unique in the world of professional sports. There are a few million of us out there right now, and we all have just that one sheet of paper. But you see, it's that symbol that bonds us together. And even though we may be thousands of miles apart, decades apart in age, we might come from countries all over the world. Our skin may not be the same color. We may not even speak the same language. But come game day, we are all united in green and gold. Which brings me to another symbol. Every game day, for roughly 2 minutes, we ask everyone stand and pay respect to a red, white, and blue symbol that I value more than any football emblem. It's 2 minutes to recognize the shared sacrifice of millions of people of all races that created a country unlike anything else in the world. For the last 4 years, NFL players have chosen to turn these 2 minutes into a protest. And it's now escalated into a boycott and threats against the NFL leadership. The NFL leadership response has been both spineless and placating. By trying not to offend anyone, they're angering nearly everyone. And both the fans and the players know that the league's response all comes down to money. So let's get it out in the open and talk about the money. 2020 is the final year in the 2011 collective bargaining agreement for the NFL. If fan support continues to grow, there will be several billion dollars on the table for the league to split among players, coaches, and the owners. So for an example, a 7th round rookie that barely makes the roster, the 53-man roster, is going to get paid a minimum of $500,000 this year, give or take. And if he manages to hang on for 4 more years throughout his rookie contract, that will net him about $2 million before taxes. By comparison, a rookie Air Force officer starting out this year will make about $40K the first 2 years and about $50K the 2 years after that, bringing his or her total to about $180,000 over the same 4-year period. So at best, that's 1/10 of the money over the same period. The comparison's even worse for enlisted military who make less money, police officers, and first responders. Obviously, every single one of these real-world jobs is far more dangerous than being an NFL player, but also far less lucrative. So to NFL players, I say this. 30 years ago, I took an oath to defend your right to protest and to speak out. I risked my life so that you could be free to criticize a symbol that you obviously don't understand the meaning of. When you protest that symbol, you cause pain to every person that has ever lost a husband, a daughter, a son, or a brother in the line of duty. Your protest is misguided, it's poorly aimed, and it's not serving your purpose. Instead of drawing others like me to your banner, whatever that banner is, you're pushing them away. And by insisting that they, not you, are the problem. I'm just one of the millions that aren't receiving your message because of the poor choice you made in delivering it. To the NFL leadership, I say this. Professional American football is no longer American nor professional. I don't claim to speak for other veterans or other fans. I speak only for myself. If the NFL cannot support America, then America should not support the NFL. So as an American, I support diversity and differences of opinion. And since I've already used up most of my words, I'm going to voice my opinion in actions instead. Starting today, I am storing every NFL item that I have, and I'm making the following oath, which, bear in mind, is only the second oath I've made in 30 years. The oath goes like this. I will not support the NFL in any monetary manner until such time as the national anthem can be free of protest. I will not buy any merchandise, attend any games, watch games on TV, nor even browse to the NFL Network website until that time. You see, I love professional football, but I don't need professional football in my life. If NFL players are going to take a knee during the anthem, then I'm going to take a stand. Football depends on America. America does not depend on football. I love you, but I can't support you. So here goes. There. Oh, and I almost forgot. The Bears still suck.